Welcome back to the channel. My name's Corey and I'm the Drywall Tech on all your social media platforms. So today we got another 250 minimum in 30 minutes. The reason why I say 250 minimum is because that is my minimum charge to come out. I wanted to address this more so in this video after the last one because I think everyone should have a minimum. Most people in my area do have a minimum, and it could range from 200 to 350. So, and honestly, it just depends on what you want to do and how busy you are and just what you think your time is worth. You know, you still have to answer these phone calls, talk to the customer, you need to get pictures, sometimes you need to go check it out, then you come, you set it up, you know, etc. There's a bunch of work involved in it. It's really not just 30 minutes. I say 30 minutes, that's the actual work time. But anyways, let's get back to the video. At some point, I do have a text conversation between me and this customer, just showing that I say, this is my minimum, this is what I charge, and they're totally fine with it. So no guns being held to anybody's, you know, up in here, forcing them to pick me. So let's get back to the patch. I'm sure you saw it. This patchwork was from a baby gate, and there was 3 areas that needed to be patched. So came in there, put the plastic down, put the mesh tape on the one area where the gate went into the wall, and it's fine. Trust me, it'll be cool. I'm gonna pre-fill that with this mud when we get back in there. But as you saw me do, I got clean water, mix 1 pan of 5-minute, and we're gonna go back in there and work this 5-minute through the mesh tape holes back and forth. Okay, so yes, you can take the tape off and put it in there first, but it's gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna make a video of me literally doing this and then another hole next to it where I shove the mud in there first. Then I'll pull the mesh tape off and I'll show you. It'll be in there, don't stress. So you see me trying to pick this little string off the mesh tape. That's the only annoying thing with this mesh tape. You do get these little strings, but other than that, it's like gold. So when you do something like this, I tape off the baseboard and I put the tape a little bit further past the wall so I can get the mud in there and move it around, try to make it as even as possible. That's the goal in this situation, to do 1 coat. Now obviously, if you need 2 coats, not a biggie, mix another little pan of 5-minute and you throw it on there. But for this, I know that's fine. So here's the other 2 areas that the gate was in there. Basically just kind of indented the drywall a little bit. So you just want to get some mud in there and make sure you leave enough to where you scrape it and sponge it, and that'll be it. And then like always, scoop out your 5-minute. As you can see, I messed up again, man. 2 videos in a row. Mixed way too much 5-minute up for this area. But that's alright. Now being 5-minute, of course you want to get out there, wash your pan right away. So if you're using 20-minute, you definitely have some more time. You could probably make a couple phone calls, clean out your truck. But for this, you should be able to use 5-minute on it. And if you don't, if you're a little scared, it's a perfect patch to try it on. So wash your pan and go back in there. Let's finish this up. Now, always test it out first because there is instances where the 5-minute will react on the paint, meaning it just won't dry, you know, as fast as it usually does. Then I'll take my knife and I'll scrape it like you're seeing here, left to right along the baseboard to try to make it tight. Trying to basically shove that mud in there, make it a tight transition from the baseboard to the wall. So, and it's pretty good. It's drying great. So scrape it up, sponge it out, make it smooth. That's the goal here. And with these 2, pretty straightforward. You're just gonna be sponging the mud in there and scraping it down until it's smooth. Make sure you sponge your mud into the edges of the texture so you don't leave any rough ridges around your texture patch. Next, you're gonna dip into your bucket of texture mud. And again, this is why I get in and out of these jobs so quick, because I already have texture mud mixed up. It's good to go. If I didn't, right, I'd have to be scooping out the bag, putting it in a bucket, getting the mixture out. So this is why I have my bucket of texture ready for every job. And you see my other hand, what did I grab? It was my trusty heat gun, because that's the only way you're gonna get these jobs done at the same time. This one in particular, I wasn't going to paint, but the customer was pretty, I don't know what you want to say, nervous about painting, and he was technically my neighbor down the street from me, so I said, all right, I'll go ahead and knock it out for you. So now this is the skip texture. This is what we do in Arizona. What can I say? It's nice. I mean, I might not be the nicest to look at, but it's definitely nice to work at. Don't need no hopper or pump gun. And you know what? Even if this was smooth, I'd be doing the same exact process I'm doing now. But instead, I'd be putting this mud on there, like a coat of this mud, then using the heat gun to dry it, which would still take around the same time. Then I would sand it, and you'd be done. So now you got your texture on. You're good to go right away. So, and like I said, I try to do these things to get done quickly as possible. So I know I'm gonna go take my pan of mud out and clean it out. So what I do, put the heat gun on, but I put it a little further away than what I'm gonna do when I come back and hold it, and I'll turn it on and let it blow on there while I'm cleaning up this pan. You gotta prioritize your movements, people. Come on. And with this leftover mud, I scoop it back in the bucket, and it's ready to go for the next one. I get a lot of questions on texture mud and how I mix it, how I leave it, you know, so it's good in every job. So I will make a video on that. I know I've been saying that for a little bit, but I definitely need to make one because I keep getting the questions about texture mud. So, and it is the Soquete from Sheetrock. So I'll put a picture of it right here. But this is pretty much what I use for everything, even when I smooth out stuff. So, and do not sleep on this little roller right here. People make fun of me for getting these, but this is perfect situation where it came in handy. Like I said, I wasn't gonna paint this. This guy asked me to paint. I said, all right, okay, you know, I'll go ahead and paint it. So these little roller kits you get at your paint store. I get this one at Sherwin-Williams, and they're pretty sweet. It's just a little tiny roller, and it comes with a little tray. It costs a couple bucks. I usually buy them in packs of 4 or 5, and I leave them in my truck because they come in handy for certain things, just like this. Yes, you could use a paintbrush, but at the same time, this thing's so easy, cheap and little, why not? So now you're gonna get the heat gun and just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You wanna keep moving. Why? Because if you let it sit for too long in one area, it'll actually crack the mud. And you don't wanna crack it. So you just keep moving until it dries. And when you'll know when it's dry, when it's basically all white, when the texture is all white. So let's skip to that part. All right, now that we're done with that portion of the heat gun, you take your sanding sponge and you just do a very light sand around the edge and a quick, you know, overpass through the patch, just to soften it up a little bit so it's not looking as, you know, crusty. But if you saw on that little one, that looked a lot more crustier than this one. So now that that's done, I'll pull the tape back, which has all the dust and whatnot from sanding, and I'll get my frog tape, put it on there. If you're not familiar with the frog tape, there's chemicals in the tape itself, so when liquid or anything hits it, it expands and doesn't let the paint go through. So that's why I use it on these instances. Now you get your little baby roller right there, and look, guess what? You can use the lid as a tray. Look at that. Now you're gonna, you know, you're gonna hear in the comments about priming on this. Again, it's such a little area. You're not gonna need it. A couple passes with it, and you'll be totally fine. So get your couple coats of paint on there. First, I'll do one pass on them, and then you'll see me just wait, you know, a good 30 seconds, and I'll do another wet pass on top of the patch area itself. And now for the best part, pull that frog tape, and look at that. No paint on the base. The patch looks great. All 3 areas done in a timely manner. The customer had to go upstairs to finish a call here, so I'm just gonna finish cleaning up, and we're out of here. We're on to the next one. And he actually left me cash on this one, which was nice. Didn't ask for it, he just left it. And he didn't have the full amount there. He's a couple dollars short, but that's, you know, that's all right. What am I, you know, gonna make him go to the bank and give me $2 out? I appreciate y'all watching. Again, like, subscribe, send it to somebody that needs to learn a thing or two, and I'll check you guys next time.